what's going on, everyone? It is your boy Charlie, your host of the Inner Circle podcast, and we are here coming to you one day early. I know you guys may be a little confused, like, wait, what's going on? Usually we do this on Hump Day, but as you guys know, myself and Melanie will be flying off to Texas tomorrow, to Dallas, Texas, to see the Queen Bee herself, Beyonce. So we're coming to you today early, and as you see, I'm coming to you solo dolo today because Melanie had some work obligations, but I'm not that solo. And I'm excited about today's show because we have, once again, he joined us last time. He was here a little over a year ago, and he's back again joining the circle. He is an MTV legend. I have to say legend because he goes way back to when MTV was first starting, so I have to give the legend title to him. MTV legend, country artist, and he's here to chop it up with us, with me, and you guys. Let's welcome, let's not wait without any further ado, John Brennan. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
How are you?
Hey, it's great to be back.
It's good to have you back. Thank you for coming back. We had a little bit of technical difficulties. I don't know if you believe in Mercury retrograde, but I blame Mercury retrograde. Let's blame Mercury retrograde. But how are you, John? How you doing?
Doing great. Doing great.
First of all, I love your setup, and we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into your setup, your mic, and all that going on. I love the setup. But what's been? It's been a little over a year. Last time you was here, it was August of last year. So there's been a lot that you've been doing since, and we're gonna get into all those things. But what has the year, without giving too much away, because we're gonna get into certain things that are upcoming for you. What has the last year been for you, just John the person?
Well, it's been hectic because I moved back to Nashville a little over a year ago. I had just kind of gotten here when I was on last time and really focusing on music. You know, I've been in Nashville, in and out of Nashville for 31 years. Mm-hmm. And, that's, if you do the math, that's right when we went to do the initial Real World back in 93. So, yeah, I got here for college in 1992, and I've been in and out of Nashville. And then this time I just said, you know what, I'm moving there and I'm staying until I accomplish my goals. This time I'm not leaving until I'm where I want to be.
Nice. And now you're back. You're back. Yeah.
I'm back.
So also, it's been a year. You've been, last time you were here, we spoke about your EP and songs that you had out then. But since you've been releasing no music, you just released not too long ago, September 8th, True Story, which I mean, you have to be an MTV head to get it, to know what, True Story is like, tongue in cheek there. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, for 31 years, people come up to me and they're like, hey, say True Story, because the intro of The Real World is the iconic, this is the true story of 7 strangers picked to live in a loft or a house to find out what happens when people stop being polite and start being real, the real world. So they have each cast member say a line. And I can't remember what my line was, but then they wanted me to sing it. And so I sang it, and they just took the one line out of there, true story. And that became this, this iconic little phrase. And people were asking me to say it everywhere I went. So I wrote a song called True Story. It actually has nothing to do with the real world. It has to do with my real world. It actually has to do with the true story of my life and my parents and how they struggled early in their marriage to make ends meet and to make their way and to make a great home for me and my siblings. And now my dad's gone. 4 years ago, he passed away. And it's a great song. It actually has nothing to do with my true story line. But since I'm kind of hashtag famous for that line, I've been developing this idea for, years and years and years. And so co-wrote this song with a friend, and it's at radio doing very, very well. I'm super excited because I had my first single. I ain't done singing yet.
Yes.
Which was my comeback song, my re-entry to Nashville and country music. And it did okay. Not as well as I'd hoped, but it did okay. And it was, your first single is, sometimes really difficult to make a huge splash, especially when you're an independent artist. And this song, True Story, is doing really well, and people are loving it. It's probably a better written song than me I've ever been part of, and I think I'm singing really good on it. It's just a great message, too. It's out there streaming right now. It's available. You can free download it at johnbrennan.com if you're not a streaming person, and it's at radio. So it's awesome.
Oh, no free downloading it. Go to
Yeah,
iTunes and download it for it's what 129 the most.
yeah.
Come on, people.
Well, you can do that, but I don't get any of that. I don't get any of that
Oh, you don't?
129.
Oh
No.
no.
I'd
Even
rather
as an
you,
independent artist.
I mean, it's pennies.
Okay.
For me, just I'd rather you have it for free and just stream it,
True.
continuously. And I need a million followers on Spotify or Apple Music, and I've got like 100. So
So how do you how do you deal? Because you just said this is doing way better than I ain't done singing yet. How do you deal with those? I guess we could chalk it up to disappointment. Like even I as a podcaster, sometimes you look at numbers and stuff, and it's like, okay, this episode did great, this episode didn't do that great. How do
right.
you deal with not getting discouraged? And like, obviously, this is your art. You've been doing this since like this was your introduction to the world. This is not nothing fake. You came into the real world house as an artist. How do
Yeah.
you deal with those times where, like you said, disappointment, like, oh, I love this, but it didn't maybe perform as well, etc. How do you keep yourself going?
Yeah, I mean, I'm 49 years old. I've been singing country music for about 41 years. And so, that's older than most country music fans are. And, I've been singing that long. I've been loving country music that long. And so, you have your ups and downs. You have people that tell you you're great, like you're the greatest thing. You're the best country singer I've ever heard. And then you have a lot of people go, meh, so and so's better than you. You have a lot of people in the industry go, I mean, you're pretty good, but you're not good enough. And you get all sorts of messages, from you're the greatest to, hey man, you should find something else to do. You get it all. And you just got to believe in yourself. You have to be real honest with yourself. Like, hey, am I good at this? Or
Mhm.
are people just being nice? So you can't just listen to granny and mama.
Yeah,
People
yeah,
that'll be now, ironically, my mama is probably the most honest with me. She'll say, you didn't sound that great today. Or she'll say, you really sounded good today. So there's honesty there. But you just have to realize that people like to hear themselves speak a lot.
yeah.
So they're going to have an opinion, and it might not even be a valid opinion. It could just be they want to hear themselves talk, or they want to elevate themselves above you. So, if they say you're great, take the compliment. If they say you're no good, you just say, hey, appreciate that, but your opinion's not what I'm going after anyway. If you don't think I'm good, you're not who I'm seeking.
Exactly, exactly. And now you mentioned that you're an independent. You're doing this all by yourself, and now more and more in today's world with these artists and up and coming, whether singers or rap, you see more of these artists independently doing their thing, whether it's funding their own videos, funding their songs, etc. And it's hard. It's hard. But at the same time, you also hear on the flip side, these artists saying they rather do it that way because they own their masters, they own their songs, etc. What's your take on that, especially as an artist, a singer,
Yeah.
like owning your song?
Well, as usual, I never short on an opinion about anything. It would be great to say, hey, independent artists, you don't need this, you don't need that. Just get on TikTok and Spotify and YouTube and go for it, and you're going to be viral. I'm on TikTok, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Spotify. But until somebody's driving you to those places or something, you hear of an artist. For instance, if they were on a worldwide reality show, for instance, hey, I'm going to look up their material. But for me, I have different goals. Like, I don't know how to say it, softly, so I'll just say it. I'm not trying to be a TikTok artist. I'm
Hmm.
not trying to be a YouTube sensation. I use social media. I'm present on social media a lot daily. And when you interact with me on social media, it's me. No one else handles my accounts. But I'm not trying to be a TikTok sensation. I really want to be a radio artist. And radio's changing a lot in the industry. But to accomplish my goals, I want radio. I want to be on the radio. I want to be on the Billboard chart. I want to be nominated for CMA awards. I want to be on the Grand Ole Opry. I want to be opening up for acts on stadium tours, and eventually I want to be that act on the stadium tour. I'm not trying to be, a TikTok sensation. And so I think people have different goals. Here in Nashville, there's a lot of clubs and honky tonks downtown, and people say, "Are you playing down there?" I'm like, "No, because that's not my goal. I don't want. I'm not down there to play for a bunch of drinking folks." For 6 hours a night to make $75. That's not my goal.
Yeah.
My goal is to get my songs on the radio, to be really honest. And a lot of artists are like, man, you don't need the radio. And I want to say, well, you're on the radio, and where would you be if you weren't on the radio? So it's a catch-22. I mean, for me to accomplish my goals, I do need the industry. I do need the record labels. I do need the radio. I want them. I want to be part of that. I've always wanted to be part of that. And in the meantime, to get there, I will use Spotify. I will use YouTube and social media. I mean, that's definitely the new generation. It's how everybody listens to music. So I'm there. I'm already there. I'm not blowing up there. So I'm trying to get on the radio and get massive exposure.
No, I feel you with that because even us, we like, on all of the Instagrams and stuff, even the TikToks, which I don't run the TikToks. Melanie plays around with our TikTok page. But I just can't get with it. I just have it. The TikTok fad. I can't get with it. Like, and I get it. Social media helps, promote and stuff. But
it helps. But I don't want it to be the basis of my career. I'm not going to sit around and make 3 or 4 TikToks a day.
Exactly.
Why not? But that's what you have to do to become a TikTok sensation. And so why am I not wanting to do that? Because I want to be a singer-songwriter. I don't want to be a TikTok creator. Now I'll be a TikTok creator, but that's not my dominant role,
Mm-hmm. All right. So True Story just came out a few weeks ago. Could we expect another EP soon? When could we expect a full album maybe, or any future newer songs I'm dropping this year?
Hopefully one after another. I've got some catalog that I'm going to just what we call waterfall onto Spotify. Every 6 to 7 weeks, I'm going to release another song that I've already got recorded. Recording is very expensive when you're the one paying for it. So I don't have this big conglomerate record company that, says, hey, we're going to front you a couple $100,000 and you go in and cut all your great songs. I don't have that. I'm funding myself. Yeah. I've actually started a GoFundMe page to try to, promote and get everything going. I mean, when you're doing this with your own pocketbooks, the money runs out really fast. I don't have the big time money with the big time labels. And so that's the challenge, is to promote your record and to make recordings, which is very expensive to rent a studio and musicians and go make a phenomenal recording. And so when the money runs out or when the money adds up, then you go in and cut more songs. So you can expect new music from me as often as I have the funding to do it, because that's basically what it boils down to. So right now I'm hoping for good success with True Story so that I can generate enough revenue to go back in the studio and record some more. Absolutely.
And please send us the link, because we like to share your stuff when you post something or song. So please send us the link to your GoFundMe so we could also share it on our page and support you in that way. Now we like you mentioned the challenge, a whole type of different challenge, doing what you do as a individual and an artist, but you was also part of the challenge world, the MTV world. If y'all watching and not listening, for our streamers that listen, I mean, if it wasn't obvious, MTV background, MTV shirt right here.
You look good, man. You look
good. MTV guy himself, the legend himself, here. So we have to talk some challenge talk. Right now, just last week, it was announced challenge season 39. Can you believe 39 seasons? Like, did any of you OGs think it would still be? First of all, before we get into season 39, did any of you OGs, when y'all talk and meet up, did y'all think y'all was still, whether y'all still on it or not, but like 39 seasons later still be going?
No, I don't think the producers even thought that this was, this is now among one of the longest running franchises of all time. I mean, we started The Real World in 1992, and I was on 93, of course, the second season. And Tammy and Dominic, my roommates, flew to Nashville from Los Angeles, where they were living, and we would live together. They drove to my house in Kentucky and a Winnebago, and then we drove to Los Angeles. And that was the first 2 episodes of our Real World season. Okay. And so that was season 2. So they had 7 on the New York cast. We were the reality stars 8, 9, and 10. We were the 8th, 9th, and 10th reality stars on the planet. And I remember somebody told me, are you really going to do this? What'd you call this show? What? Or reality something or other? Or the real world? I'm like, yeah, I don't know, whatever. I don't know what it is. And they said, you better really enjoy this, because this genre of television you're describing is never going to last. And so here we are, 32 years later.
Right.
So we drove to Los Angeles, and that was the first two episodes of our season, and they loved it so much they said we're going to make a whole series spinoff in Winnebago, and we call it Road Rules. So really, I started Road Rules. I started the challenge because I was on the very first challenge, and I started the Real World because I was on season 2, but season 1 completely sucked. So, I started all 3 of those.
Listen, you didn't say that. I like. It's like having kids. I can't choose like which. I do have favorites, but I can't choose to say some.
Do
of them
tell.
suck, so
No,
not,
dude, your viewers want to know who's your favorite.
Some of my favorite Real World seasons. You also gotta keep in mind. I'll say my age. I'm 37, so yes, I've gone back and watched because MTV used to show marathons and then show the old ones. I initially got at my age, I guess 10 or 11. The first one I watched was Real World Boston. So that I enjoyed that. New York, New Orleans, the original New Orleans I love, Chicago. Those I guess from Hawaii, from Boston to like Chicago. Those seasons.
So what you're saying is you didn't like my show at all.
No, I did not say that. I was like literally like 5 years old. I caught up with like season 1 and 2 and the 3s in London and all that afterwards.
Back when there was not 12 or 14 seasons, there was just us in San Francisco and New York. They played marathons of ours for 10 years. So you still could have been.
I caught up.
Yeah, you caught up because they were still showing ours.
But remember with the other ones, they were airing more new, like weekly. So I will keep up like a TV show or soap opera where I was like, okay, it's coming on Monday or Tuesday. So you get what I mean? So like yours was way
what I hear you saying is something that I can identify with. You didn't like my roommates, and that's okay.
That's not true.
No, that's what you said. No. It's recorded. It's on tape. But you like the cowboy, but you didn't like the roommates. And I can identify.
I love Tammy.
I didn't say Tammy. I said the roommates.
Yes.
Okay. Let me ask you. I realize I'm the guest, but let me ask you a question.
No, come on, give it to me.
What did you love about Tammy?
All right. I gotta say it. There's something about her. I guess it reminds me of my mom. My mom's a New Yorker, and it was just her attitude, her strong woman, especially for back then, like that strong woman. Like now we appreciate strong women more, but back then, just the strong, what she represented, the strong, and her story she shared as well. Like on during the Real World, with her mom and being homeless, and just a lot of things, just a lot of her story I connected to, but also that strong woman. Like I don't know, I've always looked up to strong women because my mom, I had my dad, but my mom, there was a point where she was a single mom, and I don't know, I just look up to powerful, strong women that don't take no nonsense.
And she's still on MTV. She's on Unfaithful right now.
And then and then her career, then she went to Basketball Wives and other stuff. But this is not about Tammy. But yes, I love Tammy too. So you can't say I don't like all your roommates.
So, but what I hear you saying is that the cowboy was your favorite. I mean, I've been on the show twice. How many times has Tammy Roman been on your podcast?
Well, listen, not yet. I'm manifesting, but I do have to say, you, Beth, and Tammy are my top 3 from that season. Are the only ones that really. I mean, besides David, but him for the art. I don't want to trash talk you, John. What are you trying to bring out of me?
I'm really good. I'm really good, aren't I?
David, and we're not gonna get into it, but you, Beth, and Tammy are my standouts, and I kind of like, then following the challenges and stuff, grew up, followed you guys more.
Those are my favorites, also. Those are my favorites.
Well, speaking of, all right, so since we're on it, let's play a little quick game then.
Okay.
All right. Since we're on the roommates of your Real World Los Angeles roommate, and you put me on the spot. I know David won't ever do the show. No.
He might.
But this is Who's Most Likely Real World Roommates Edition, John's Roommate Edition. So you may get in trouble with this, but I promise I didn't put too many bad Who's Most Likely. So you should be able to answer them truthfully. So who's most likely leave dirty dishes around?
No question.
Out of all your roommates. You?
That was me.
Oh, you're owning that. Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Who's most likely to tell you about yourself? Tell you off.
To tell you off?
Yeah.
Oh, Tammy. Come on. You know that one. Yeah. That-
Who's most likely to be forgetful?
oh, Beth.
Oh, really?
Oh, she doesn't remember
Okay.
anything.
Who's most likely to cry during a movie, whether like a kids movie or romantic movie?
Beth.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Uh-huh.
okay. Who's most likely who curses the most?
Curses the most.
Curses the
Ooh,
most.
David.
David.
Yeah,
Who is
David.
most? Yeah, I thought you were initially. I'm like, oh, you may say Tommy, but I can definitely see David. Who is most likely to get hungry in the middle of the night?
Hmm. I'm gonna say Tammy.
Who is most likely to remain asleep while the alarm is blaring? You.
Yeah, me for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, I'm a
Got
sleepy.
laugh, gave it away. Who is most likely to be in the middle of drama?
Oh, Beth. She's named the drama queen. That is her name on the show, actually.
Who is most likely to crack dirty jokes and make everyone uncomfortable?
Dominic.
Who is most likely to forget to flush the toilet?
Hmm. That would be Dominic also.
All right. Yeah, that was my last one. There you go. You passed. You
I know
passed.
my
Good job,
roommates.
John.
I know my roommates.
Good job. Speaking of Beth, speaking of Beth, let's actually get into of this because I'm excited for this. When I seen this post, I actually kind of like lit up inside. I'm like, yes. Because I would love to listen to this. You and Beth have a podcast coming up. And I'm
I'm
so
gonna
happy we get to talk about this right here.
I'm gonna make an exclusive announcement. This has only been teased on Instagram, but it's never been officially announced. Beth and I have been talking about a podcast for years, and we have already recorded 10 episodes. We just recorded Tech Money from the Hawaii show today, as a matter of fact. Our podcast is going to drop 4 episodes in 5 days. On Monday, this coming Monday, will be the first 4 episodes of Getting Real with John and Beth.
Yes. So that's the official name, Getting Real with John and Beth. What could we expect? I mean, you just said that you have Tech Money, Real World Hawaii, one of the Real Worlds I watched in Lifetime as it was
This
airing.
is so funny. Yeah, Tech is texting me right now because I had just thanked him for being on, and he just texted me.
Manifesting him too for the show. Because
Hey,
honestly, he was one of the first, like I said, the Real World Hawaii, I watched in real time. And I should have been watching Real World Hawaii.
You know something about Tech? He's exactly the person that you see on TV. Yeah. He is that guy all the time. Super, super fun guy. So he's our, I think we're going to release him in the order that we've recorded them, maybe, but he's our 10th. So just to name a few guests, of course, the first episode is our real world roommates. And then we had Cyrus. Okay. We've had Ruthie.
Yes, Cyrus last year on the show too.
Oh yeah. He's totally awesome guy.
Yeah.
Ruthie, Flora. We had the creator of reality television, John Murray.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. We had let's see, Flora, Ruthie. Man, I now have forgotten some of our guests. Eric Neese, the original reality star.
Yes,
I know Mark Long is the godfather, but there were a lot of reality stars before him, and I can think of no reality star. It's not just that I can't think of them. There is no reality star that came before Eric Neese. He is the original first reality star of all time. And
he kind of went like he still like after the Real World had jobs with MTV and did the grind, I believe, and all that stuff. So he had a little something off of that popped off of his first.
He did, and his life took an amazing journey, and he continues to be on it. And he reveals a lot in our podcast. As a matter of fact, he revealed some stuff he's never revealed anywhere ever. And so Eric's a good friend and a great dude. And I'm excited about our podcast because people will enjoy it. It's not just about reality TV or the real world. It's about music. It's about current events. And I think folks are going to love it. We got some top-notch icon guests.
I'm there.
Tammy told us that she would come on, and she said, first, she literally quote, she said, "Y'all build it up, and then I'll slide in." So she's gonna slide in once we got our subscribers up and everything.
Of course, Tammy. But I'm so excited. Because I listened to obviously Derek and Scott Yeager. I listened to them.
Love them. I've been on there twice. Love their podcast.
I listened to their podcast. Actually, they were one of the people back then when they started. They were an inspiration, kind of like a kickstart, push, nudge for me to start this? Because I've always wanted to, do like MTV VJ or talk entertainment, and listening to them, and especially Derek coming from that world and then doing it. I'm like, they were that nudge, nudge, one of the inspirations that pushed me to do it. Them, I listened to the Official Challenge podcast. So yeah, I'm excited to listen to Get Real with Beth and John, and the
Yeah.
episodes start dropping on Monday, right?
It's coming
Am I correct?
Monday. Yeah, follow us on Instagram at Getting Real with John and Beth, and you'll
And of
know
course,
everything
we'll
there is.
be sharing those episodes on our Inner Circle page, so y'all can check it out in case.
Very cool.
Very excited for that. Now let's talk current challenge, and I'm sure you
Okay.
guys are gonna get into. I'm sure y'all gonna talk all y'all talk on y'all podcast about this, but you're here, and I want to get your opinions first on. They just announced season 39, and it's titled "The Challenge." Why am I having a brain for? Basically, winners. This is the first time where there's no winners, no champions. It's basically people who've been on the show maybe once or twice, but that never won, maybe have ran a final. What are your thoughts with this cast announced?
Well, I mean, my thoughts are, I've never won, and why not bring back the one that started it all? I mean, I was on challenge 1, 5, and 10. As a matter of fact, they hadn't even named it the challenge yet. I know everybody knows it was called the Real World versus Road Rules.
Mm-hmm.
But even before that, it was actually called, and get ready for this, the Road Rules All-Stars. And I don't know why it was called that, because we were doing Road Rules things. But here was the cast. They took one real worlder from each real world. They took Eric Neese, myself, Rachel from San Francisco, Sean from Boston, they would marry each other and have 9 kids, and Cynthia from the Miami show. So we were 5 real world has-beens doing Road Rules. And it was what they consider the first challenge. It was called Puck. Puck was our Mr. Big. He was giving us our clues and our missions. And they call it the first challenge. And so I was on challenge 1, 5, and 10. I was on Battle of the Seasons, and I was on Inferno 2.
Good guys versus bad guys.
Yeah, good guys versus bad guys. And I haven't been on a challenge since. And I'm wondering, if you're bringing back people that have never won, then it's time for me to make my triumphant return.
But honestly, I don't know if you really looked at this cast. Even it's not like they're bringing back people that never won. These are like plucked randomly, or people that was just on like last season for the first time or 2 seasons ago.
What I really think has happened is these people that are casting this show now are so young that they don't remember the true OGs. Even when they cast the All-Stars, these Challenge All-Stars, you're talking about people that are working in the industry that are 30 years old. They don't frankly remember the true OGs, which is, me and Rachel and Sean and Cynthia and Eric Neese and these people that were on challenges 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now it just seems like they're in this rut of, let's see how many Big Brother people we can get. Let's see how, Now I will say this: there is my favorite challenger, maybe of all time, certainly as of late, is a young man I really can't wait to meet. I've just texted back and forth a few times. One of the nicest people I've seen on any reality show, including myself, and quite the competitor. I think he's an icon on the challenge already, and it's Horatio.
Oh my! I was waiting for you. Oh,
let me tell you something. He is the nicest. You just watch the show and you're like, I hope this guy wins, because he's a fierce competitor and he's so polite and nice. He's like, I want to hang with that dude. He's nice. Like,
I'm so glad to
nice
hear
people. And so I said, dude, I'm a fan. I think you're a great competitor. They keep trying to get you off of the show and you keep bouncing back. Would you be on my podcast? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna be on. So it's just a matter of time before we have Horatio on Getting Real, because it's just scheduling. And you know what? I don't even know if he's on the show, but I think he is. I saw him on the poster, right? I hope he wins. I hope he beats everybody, because he's a good dude and deserves it. And the other people on the show are not good dudes and don't deserve it.
And how they went out, though, him and his partner last season, they made the finals. How they went out, it was horrible.
It was.
Especially his partner. Horrible. Like, I'm holding my nose because you know what I'm
talking about. Yeah.
It was horrible. Like, so I'm glad to definitely see him back. And it's so crazy because you're describing it, and I'm sitting here like, he's going to say Horatio.
Well, that's the thing about me.
I fell in love
with the guy
with
next door. Yeah, I mean, everybody feels like John, I feel like I know you. I'm the guy next door. I say it plain. I'm not super, fantastic with all of the cool factor. I'm just going to tell you straight like it is. I can tell you who's a poser. I can tell you who's the real deal. I can tell you who's a good person. I mean, you can just watch the show and be like, man, they're good television.
So who's a
great.
poser? Name one poser.
I mean, they're all posers. Are you kidding me? Are you? I mean, I don't like any of them. To be honest with you, I'm like, okay, you were on the Real World back in the day. You should know the integrity of reality TV. Quit acting some type of way because there's a camera pointed at you. You know the popularity of the show now. You know that the OGs made it really famous for you, and now you have this platform, and so now you're hamming it up bigger than you would if this wasn't a television show. Like, this is supposed to be real. You're supposed to act normal, and you're acting like a jerk just because you're trying to be outrageous for TV. You can spot them. You can spot them all. I mean, Wes is the worst. CT, Bananas. I mean, these are people I don't want to be around. And everybody, oh, these are superstars. Well, you know what? If I was on the challenge 21 times, I'd probably win 7 times too. 21 times you get cast. I mean, I realize they're making a television show, but I mean, pick more Horacios and less Bananas.
Well, speaking of the Bananas, do you feel he's somewhat, because he's on the current Challenge USA 2, season 2. There's so many. They really have branched off with these spinoffs. On CBS, he's currently on that. He was on, prior to this, he was on the Challenge World of the, when it was all world people from all over. Do you think he's calming down what he's known for, like this asshole, this, chauvinistic dude that the girls usually call him? I feel like the last few seasons he's been a little more tame. Do you think he's taming it, especially in our new age, day and age, cancel culture type of thing?
I mean, these reality stars now are so afraid of getting canceled. That wasn't even a word when we were on the Real World or the early challenges. I mean, Karen and canceled weren't even a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's mellowed or if, he's just hamming it up less. And I just want, honestly, I just don't like being around those people. I mean, and then this is the thing that gets me, and I complain about this all the time. So here it comes, is when these people that are on there all the time, your Anisas, all of them, when they get eliminated, they look right in the camera and it's like, but I'll be back. And it's like, you don't deserve to be back. What makes you think you got to be on every show? Well, I know what it is that makes them think they're going to be on every show. They keep getting called year after year to go and, sleep with whoever they're sleeping around with and act like a drunk fool on television. And then they know they're going to get called back because they're being outrageous and they're making good television. It's like, well, I'm going to be back. It's like, you don't deserve to be back. Go away, go home and stay gone.
The challenge is funny how you say that. I love the hookups and the drinking. But a lot of fans have been complaining and saying that, like, the producers, whoever's casting, and listen, I will work for cheap. If I got hired to cast, I'm 37, so I'm that good age. But I'll be bringing good. I know I'll be making good casting decisions. I wouldn't be on some stupid stuff like as a 30, 27 casting.
You know what I wish? You know what I wish they would do? I wish they would make a show and they would put in some wild cards like Scott Yeager from Challenge Mania. I wish that they would take some of these people that aren't on show after show after show, some of these people that the community knows, like you podcasters, and throw you in there. Because, I mean, you're talking, some of these people are 52, 55 years old. And so I would love to see you on there. I'd love to see Scott Yeager. Tell me, Scott Yeager deserves to be cast on a show. Let's see how, I mean, he's all the time talking challenge. Let's put him on there. Because I think, and Scott's a cool guy, and you're a cool guy. That would be good TV.
Listen, I would do it. I always, that's another thing. I was always told, like, you should be on the Real World. You should be on the Real World. You should be, and I'm like, but
Yeah, you should. You should. But now the Real World's gone. Like,
I know, and that's the one I wanted to be. That's the show I wanted to be on. I see myself on.
That's my quote. Take that snippet. That's the quotable tweet for this episode. The Real World's gone.
Like I wrote it right. 34 seconds. Now, allegedly, you don't have to answer this now. You don't have to answer this because I know, things have to be officially announced, but allegedly, you know where I may go here. Today there were some rumors, loud rumors, that a few of your pals, Beth being one of them, allegedly, and the Bananas and the CTs of the world are going to be on this show. I don't know if you heard the season 2 of Traders. Allegedly, you don't have to confirm, John, because I know how.
Hey, I'm under no contract with anybody.
But have you heard of Traders?
Yeah, because they haven't cast me in forever years. I'm not under contract. I say what I want.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you get other people in trouble.
I don't care about other people being in trouble. I care about me.
Listen, one of them is your co-host.
Oh, Beth?
And your roommate. So we don't want to get it. Allegedly, she's on season 2 of Traders. Her,
Okay.
CT, Bananas, Trishelle. Yeah, her, CT, Bananas, and Trishelle.
Well, I won't answer your question, but I'll tell you this. Today, I recorded a podcast with my co-host, and we recorded an episode with Tech Money.
Okay, so
now, I have seen this. I have seen this post going around the internet,
yeah.
And I can just say that usually when you see a post, a whole lot of it's true, and there's a portion of it that's not true. And,
yeah.
And they're always poking the bear and trying to get interest up.
Yeah. Now, whether true or not, or whether some of them are on, whether it's maybe only CT or whatever, it's good to see some of the real world well, they're all real worlds. Trishelle was under real world, Bananas was Key West, CT was Paris, Beth was Los Angeles. So allegedly, if they're on, they're all real world / challenge alums. Is this something that you would do in the future?
Hey, let me tell you. When my phone rings and it's MTV asking me to come back for a reunion, a homecoming, a challenge, an interview, I have never in 31 years said no. It's something I've been part of. It's something that I'm embracing. I mean, I am that guy. Yeah, I want to be a country music superstar, so I'm working hard on music and getting my music out there. But let's face it, I'm always going to be the cowboy from the Los Angeles real world. I have never once said, no, I'm not interested. So I would be on Traders. I would be on Tammy's show Unfaithful. I would be. No, I probably wouldn't do that. But I would love to compete again on a challenge. And I love meeting people like Tech. I love hanging with Ruthie. Amaya's a good friend. Arissa has become a good friend. Most people don't know this. I'm gonna shock the world. Do you know who's become a good friend of mine? And you guys won't even understand how this ever happened. But Coral has become a dear friend of mine. Can you imagine?
One of my favorites.
Oh, she's so great. She's such a. And so I've never been on a show with her, but we meet at different events and we love one another. And
so you see her out? You actually see her out?
Well, I mean, I live in Nashville.
Okay.
I don't see her often, but I check on her and she checks on me, and we're social media in lots of different ways. But one day I'm gonna end up on a show with Arissa and Coral and some of these people that it's so unexpected that John from LA even has a friendship with these people. And we're gonna shock the world with a hidden alliance.
Yeah, listen, I'm praying praying for that. I would love that. I love Coral, and I'm still praying for her to be on the All Stars as well. But that's a whole different story because we know there's another season, but that's also been. We're not gonna get into that either. But us real fans,
I'm not under contract. I'll get into anything you want to get into.
Why isn't All Stars 4 being released, and we keep getting all these other releases? USA season 2. Now
there's a strategy and a reason. I'm not sure what they all are, but all I can tell you is there's been 4 All-Star OG seasons of the challenge. 4. I haven't been on any of them. They haven't cast me on. So what does that tell you? I know your viewers are going, that's because you're no good, John. Well, that's fine, but there's lots of people on there that are no good. I'm ready to come back and compete and wow everybody.
It's about giving the chance. Like you have to give.
I mean, let's face it. The All-Stars, the first one especially, was all about humor and fun. I mean, that thing was the funnest thing in the world to watch.
And nostalgia was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and just the characters. I mean, it was just hilarious.
I'm waiting for All Stars 4. Like, I'm waiting. It has to come out. There was rumors that it was completely scrapped. But I know, like you said, strategy and stuff.
I don't think it was scrapped because they spent money making it.
Exactly.
I think they're going to release it probably in a strategic time to promote something else. I mean, it's all a strategy and trying to get subscribers on Paramount, and they know what they're doing.
Speaking of Paramount, good segue. Thank you. What are your thoughts on Paramount removing the seasons of Homecoming?
Yeah, I don't know why they did. Paramount merged with Showtime, and they changed some of the content when that merger happened. But I think that people that were interested watched it, and then it was still there just hanging out, and maybe nobody was watching it anymore. They have ways of tracking who's tapping into it. They probably just said, you know what, whoever was going to watch these homecoming shows have watched it by now.
Mm.
And I have heard, and I don't know if it's true, but if it still lives on Amazon Video or Prime or whatever it's called, or if it's on Facebook, there are some other outlets, maybe Hulu, but that it still might exist. But
Okay.
I'm not sure about that, to be honest. I don't even have a copy of it. Like, when it streams, you don't have a DVD of it. So
back in the day, they used to send you guys tapes of stuff, right? VHS,
listen, Charlie. Back in the day, they used to send me VHS.
Yeah.
DVDs.
DVDs.
It wasn't until I was on a challenge that I go, oh man, now we got DVDs. I used to get VHS tapes. I still have them, by the way.
Wow. Well, you should. I mean, that's like you could have your own little mini museum that you could open up down the road and stuff. To have that, yeah.
You know what? I have my celebrity deathmatch figurine.
Oh yes, you did. Yeah, there was a celebrity.
See, my MTV OG-ness goes really deep because I don't know if they saw the homecoming, but I mentioned on the homecoming to my roommates, oh my goodness, did you see that we were on Beavis and Butthead? And so the Beavis and Butthead are sitting there watching TV, and they show the TV, and there's me with my cowboy hat, and down in the corner it has the Real World logo. And they're like, this show sucks, and change the channel.
But how was that moment for you, Celebrity Deathmatch? That's like another iconic.
I mean, it's just crazy. Somebody called me and said, John, turn the TV on. You're on MTV. I'm like, dude, we've been friends a while. Like, get used to it. I'm on MTV. They said, no. You're on Celebrity Deathmatch. I'm like, oh, really? So I turned it on, and then there's this gruesome. Of course, I'm a wrestling fan, so I kind of like, being in the ring. And I called them. I'm like, hey, I want my claymation. I want my statue. They're like, John, it's a gruesome show. They get torn apart and all bloodied up. I'm like, no. I won. Mine's in perfect shape. They mailed it to me. They nailed it.
That's awesome. You see, part of the John Brennan Museum.
Oh my!
See it in the future. But listen, John, it was amazing. I'm glad technology didn't screw us up too much, and we still was able to do this. I thank you for your time because I know you're a busy guy. Before we go, again, where could people? I know you have a GoFundMe. I know you have EPs. You have the new song "True Story" that is out.
Yeah,
it came out on September 8th. Make sure to see that. Where could the people go support you?
Well, I appreciate you asking. My website is johnbrennan.com. No H in John. johnbrennan.com, and my music's there. You can download for free 2 of my songs, including my new one, True Story, another song that you saw in the homecoming called Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky. It's streaming everywhere, Spotify, Pandora, Apple Music, everywhere there's music, YouTube. My music is very easy to find. Please go stream it and subscribe. I'm on Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff at johnbrennan.com. And so I'm verified on everything except for TikTok. And so give me a follow. That's really me that you're interacting and corresponding with. I handle all that stuff myself daily. I'd love it if you follow me, and appreciate you having me back on. You're a great podcast. I enjoy it every time.
Thank you. And I appreciate you for saying that. You're amazing. And I thank you for your time. As for us, you guys can follow us on YouTube, Facebook. A little subscribe goes a long way, and it's free. We're also streaming on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Google Podcasts. And stay tuned. Make sure you following our Instagram because we're going to give you exclusive content throughout the week with behind the scenes with the Renaissance Tour. We're going to go to Dallas to see Beyonce. So you definitely want to stay tuned to our Instagram for behind the scenes and all that good content. Once again, thank you so much, John. Thank you. Can't wait for the podcast. I'm sure we'll see you again, hopefully. And everyone, make sure to support John and go and stream True Story out now, wherever you listen to your favorite streaming songs. John, thank you so much. God bless you.
Hey, I want to have you on our podcast on Getting Real. I think it'd be cool to reverse the roles and have you as a guest on our podcast and I know we'd have great conversation.
Don't play with me, John.
I'm not playing. I'm not
Are you
playing.
serious?
It's a true story. I want you on our podcast. We're going to work it out.
John, like
Heck
my
yeah.
heart, like, listen, thank you, John. We'll talk about it. Don't play with me.
No, we want it to be good.
I would love to.
Yeah.
All right, y'all heard it here. John said it here live. All right, so y'all start coming if y'all don't see me on his podcast. I appreciate it. I would love to. I'm ready, willing and able whenever you're ready.
Awesome.
Awesome, everyone. Thank you so much. Love you guys. We'll see you guys next Wednesday. Back to next Wednesday, regular scheduled programming. We are out. Adios.